Welcome back to Collaboration Conversations. I'm your co host, Regina Partain Bergman. My co host, Pearl Cox, is unavailable to be with us right now. So we have a guest co host today. I'm delighted to introduce her to you. Our guest co host today is Angelie Kapoor, and Angelie empowers others to awaken to their full potential and their unique contribution to the world. I love that because potential is one of those things that has always excited me in helping people achieve their full potential. Welcome to the show, Angelie, and welcome as guest host.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Excited to be
Awesome.
here.
Awesome. So, Angelie, would you introduce our guests for the day? Oh, no,
Yes.
wait a minute. I said that wrong. Would you introduce more about you first? We want to know a little bit about your journey and kind of who you serve and why, and then we'll have you introduce the guests and have them do the same thing.
Of course, sounds good. So, as Regina said, my name is Angelie Kapoor. I have been in healthcare for over 20 years. So it's been a very long up and down journey. And through kind of my unknown mission to myself to find a place where I was contributing to my fullest and really reaching my full potential, I found myself climbing the career ladder to management ranks. And so it was in these positions of leadership and management that I fell in love with mentoring and coaching others and supporting them to do the same, to succeed and reach their fullest potential and contribute to the world. So a few years ago, I pivoted into coaching for that reason, to serve and follow my passion. And so I'm a leadership and career coach as well as a writer and author. I just published a book a couple months ago and also a speaker. I love doing events like this and connecting with others and sharing my experience and my insights. And as Regina stated, my company is Oversight Global, where our mission is to really be a consciousness advocate and help people to become aware of and conscious of things around them and really who they truly are and what they're truly capable of. So that is me.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. If you will introduce our panelists, please.
Yes. So today I'm so excited to have Christina and Mary here with us. So, Christina is a clinical hypnotherapist, an energy healer, as well as a speaker as well. And interestingly enough, I met her through collaboration. So, excited for that. So, Christina, do you want to introduce yourself a little bit more?
Yeah, so I found my calling, my hypnotherapy through a series of traumatic events. I went through the motions and couldn't ever find anything that really truly healed me. And through a bunch of breadcrumbs fed to me through the universe, I ended up in hypnotherapy. I found RTT, and now I help women overcome PTSD, depression, and anxiety as well. So, allowing them to take their lives back. I also do speaking events and energy healing, like Angelie said.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And then Mary, Mary, I've actually known for a few years. We went through coaching school together. So we've known each other for a while, but Mary is a singer, songwriter, and artist. So Mary.
Yeah, thank you so much, Angeline and Regina for hosting, and Christina, thank you for sharing your story as well. Yes, I'm delighted to be here. So my background really is in music. I'm a singer songwriter, and I've started doing some acting recently and modeling as well. So just a creative creative person, but I also teach. I've been teaching since I graduated from music school, and have loved it. And in writing, I'm currently working on my fourth album, and I'm very clear on what my songwriting process is, and it's actually been super healing for me. And through my own journey of PTSD and some trauma, I really used my songwriting as a way to heal. And I found that, wow, this really works so well for me. I'd love to share it with others. So I created a program called Song Detox, where I share with people how to write a song, and it's more of a co-write. We work together, and it's a way to help them change their narrative. So that's my story.
Beautiful. Thank
Wow.
you, Mary.
Awesome. So, Angelie, you said you and Christina met through a collaboration. Tell us
Yes.
about that.
Yeah, she actually participated in my most current series on my YouTube channel. I do series on my YouTube channel just touching on different topics every month. And for November, we are talking about the energy of gratitude. And so Christina and I got together and collaborated on that. So she is one of my featured expert speakers throughout my November series, as well as you, Regina, I should mention.
Yes, thank you. Awesome. And how did you meet originally so that you could have her on the show? I mean, how did that come about?
I just put out a post on Facebook groups calling for speakers and experts.
Speakers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Awesome. So, and Mary, I take it you do play musical instruments as well, since I see many in your background there.
I do. I play guitar, piano, and ukulele. And in the corner there is a harp, which I'm learning. It'll be a long road, but that's my next.
I have a good friend in the Dallas area who plays harps, and she has several really large harps, and she's amazing on it.
Wow.
Yeah, love the sound of a harp. That's
beautiful instrument.
Yeah. I think my other favorite instrument is the cello. I think there's just such a soulful sound to the cello, you know, stirs your soul. Yeah. Awesome. So what's been one of the greatest collaborations that you've had in your careers so far? Anybody?
I think they're all great, in my opinion. Like each one of them brings its own thing. So I mean, like here I got to meet Angelie, and then I've been able to meet you, Regina, and Mary, and they all have a unique brightness to them. I don't really have one that's just been like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. To me, each one of them has brought so many things that they've all just been great.
Right. They are great. Let's rephrase the question. What's been one of the greatest benefits that you've received from a collaboration?
Good questions. Well,
that was an interesting reaction around the room.
I agree with Christina. Like every single collaboration has something to offer. Currently, I'm in a play right now, a theater production. So that's and the past few years, because I've been writing a lot and really kind of been working on my process, I've spent a lot of time alone. So it's been awesome to be a part of a team. And the play is called Stepping Out. It's a comedy, and it's about a group of mainly women, one man who learns how to tap dance. So it's just like this motley crew of people learning how to tap dance, and it's kind of a disaster and hilarious. But there's a lot of darker like undertones. To each character has different parts of their story that are difficult. And my character she's going through domestic violence at home. So that there's all these layers to the play. But I am loving just being a part of a team. And 2 nights ago was our first night off book, meaning like we need to have all of our lines memorized, no scripts in hand. And I felt prepared, but what I wasn't prepared for was some, people maybe not saying their lines exactly as written. Oh, wait. Like, you just say a different word, like, but I'm, and just kind of really how you have to work so much together as a team, like that it's just, and also there are some characters in the play that are definitely funnier than my character. And At first I was like, wait, I want to be funny too. And she is funny. She is definitely funny, but how important it is for me to have my reaction so that the other characters can shine as well. So
Fantastic.
That's awesome.
It is. Yes, and kudos on being part of the theater production. Yeah. Team is an important element of it, isn't it? So
really is.
if you are solo in your business,
Mhm.
where does the team come from?
Yeah, that's such a great question. Um,
Because
I
we all
mean,
need teams, right?
right.
Right.
Yes.
So how do we get a team if we're a solopreneur?
That's
Yeah,
a good question.
That's a great
I
question.
think
it is. Yeah. I mean, I think you kind of need to start to reach out,
yeah.
and work with other people. I know for the longest time, I was kind of that isolated solo business, owner as well, because it took me a long time to kind of break out of my shell and be comfortable being vulnerable, and really, exposing myself to other people. So that was kind of my journey is at first, because I had a lot of growth to do when I first started my coaching business. And at first I didn't feel comfortable. I was still comparing myself to other people. I felt like if I put myself out there, I was going to be judged. So I really had to come with growth and feeling comfortable, working with other people and trusting other people and being vulnerable. So for me, that was kind of my journey. And now that I do it so often, the biggest benefit to me is I learn so much. I most of my collaborations I'm doing to help others, to help the viewers or the audience, but I find that in doing them, I learn so much and I grow so much more collaborating with other people too.
Absolutely. Christina, did you have something to add to that?
Yeah, so I'm just naturally introverted. I just have been my entire life. So when going into, hypnotherapy, I was like, okay, this is a solo mission, right? It's not something that, you know, a lot of people come into play with. But growing into the business and learning everything, I had to learn that I can't be solo all the time and I do need other people. And that's been a huge learning experience for me. Like Angelie said, like you have to come out of your shell and get vulnerable and reach out. And it takes a lot of practice and it's very uncomfortable because what if they're like, what if they do judge you? What if you're not in line what they want and then you have to deal with that rejection, and it's a whole lot of vulnerability reaching out, but it's so impactful in so many different ways when you do. it's
Mhm.
I think it's underrated in business.
Mm.
Agreed. Agreed. Mary, did you have something to add to that?
Yes, I have like so many, so many different things. Yeah, I think this solo entrepreneur, I feel like that's kind of when Angeline and I met, kind of at the beginning of that. Okay, well, we're gonna have to open up,
Mhm.
um, and I think also like I see listeners of my music or, fans or following or, audience, whatever you want to call it, like the people that you're serving. Um, I see them as part of my team because I couldn't, there's something that like songwriters say, like once you write the song, like it's dead to you. Like like it's not really about you anymore. So like once you create your creation, it's not for you, it's for the
Right.
audience and it's for people to enjoy. So, and I think that when I see their reaction, when I feel their reaction, when I know it's connecting with them, like that's like such an important part of the process to inspire me to create more. So it's like this cyclical thing, and I really do see them as part of my team. So that makes it definitely feel less like a solo journey.
Yeah.
I think
And
that's
I found
beautiful.
actually Patreon has been a really great
Mm.
platform for me to use in that way.
What I'm hearing you say is that you actually collaborate with your audience.
Oh, I love that, Regina. Yeah, I guess so. And live performance has been is really important to me. And I love the online format, uh, and I do think it can happen there. But I think with the pandemic, when that wasn't happening as much,
Right.
when
You
I
don't get the
started going
feedback.
out live again, I
Yeah.
was like, oh, this part of me that that had kind of like gone dormant has come back.
Right. Right. Awesome. Angelie, you spent a number of years in the healthcare industry,
Mhm.
and if I remember correctly, you worked in a hospital, right?
Yeah,
Or
I
is that
worked in hospitals,
in
solo
hospitals?
clinics. Yeah.
So let's talk for a moment about that. Going back to this idea of you need people, you need a team, you need people that you can collaborate with. And
Mhm.
while you may be, if when you're in a management position, you have a team, right?
Right.
But oftentimes there's a missing level of collaboration for you as that team leader, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Because the people that are in your team are at a different level. So,
Right.
what do you do if you're that team leader or manager or executive or whatever? What do you do? How do you collaborate with others who are on the same playing field that you're on?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that
No,
you
that's
have that support and collaboration with others. Can you address
right.
that a little bit?
Yeah, yeah, that's a great question. When I first started my management career in healthcare, I went in there not knowing anything as a manager, and really having to learn on the job. And one of the things that, in the beginning, it was very lonely. Just, like you mentioned, I had a team of people under me,
Mm-hmm.
and I had other managers that I worked with. We bounced ideas off of each other. We made sure that our different departments were running smoothly. But it was very an isolated job. You had all these people around you, but you didn't feel
Yeah.
connected to any of them. And so it really took me, and then plus there was always competition in the workplace. So there was that as well. So it really took me a while, after, developing my leadership skills, to figure out how to feel more connected. And I was able to do that when I started to learn more about myself, and feel more comfortable with myself. And I realized that that really expanded into me being able to be more of an effective leader to my team. And, as I grew more comfortable with being vulnerable and connecting with them more on kind of a human level, because I just had this weird perception in the beginning that I had to be perfect and my team could only know me as perfect. So they
Right.
couldn't know that I was having challenges or
Yeah.
hard days or anything like that. So when I really let that all fall away and really connected with them on a human level, that really helped me to, one, be a better leader for them, and two, really feel connected with them and feel like I was no longer, at this top position and calling down orders. I was really working with them and collaborating with them. And so that's really where that kind of shift happened.
That's really cool. I like that. My first managerial position was in a credit union.
Mhm.
And I can remember, I mean, this was years ago, but I remember driving down the road thinking, it is lonely at the top.
It
But
is.
I was
It is.
like,
Yeah.
I don't have anybody that really can relate to what I'm going through right now. It's like
Exactly.
because your family members, your spouse, whatever, if they're not experiencing or haven't experienced those same things, then
Hmm.
they're not on that same plane. And as you say, the people that you're working with, there's some things that you just really need somebody that you can collaborate with
Right.
that outside of that sphere, ideally, I think. Yeah.
Hmm. Yes.
But yes, then learning how to collaborate with your team can help with some of that.
Yep.
Yeah. What are some of the greatest challenges that you may have faced in either finding collaborative relationships or creating those relationships? Any challenges that you faced there? Mary, I see you nodding.
um, Yeah, I mean, I think it's been a long road for me finding a producer for my recordings of my music. So I started learning how to produce myself these past few years, and have created a home studio to to be boss, but to also like be able to fully articulate what is in my mind, and put it into the music. Um, so I mean, in response to your question, I think the challenge in that process for me was trusting myself enough to know that I was capable. And then I think that impacts your external relationships and how you're working and interacting with others.
Awesome. What do you look for in a collaborative partner, Christina?
Oh, I love that question. Honestly, I look for good people. If you're just out for yourself, and you don't have that gratefulness in your life, it's all about business, which is important. Business is important. That's where we get.
Business is important.
But
Yes.
if you don't have that kindness and that desire to help people, it's all about you. I can't work with you. I just
Yeah.
can't. There's like a block, like a wall
Yeah.
that just goes up with me. I'm like, no, can't, no.
Yeah. If somebody's out there listening to us right now and they're thinking, wow, I'd love to collaborate with one of you ladies, what would be the approach that you would encourage them so that you're receptive when they reach out to you? In other words, what's a really good approach to someone when you would like to collaborate with them? We know a lot of times people do really dumb things. Sorry, folks. That was a judgmental word. But they do. They do, I mean, things that just make you click, no, go away. So what are some good ways to reach out to someone that you would like to collaborate with?
I think be human. Don't pitch.
Good
Just
start.
be a human and see if
Yeah.
you align first.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really the same for me. I mean, we get direct messages all the time of, hey, can we do this together? And, really what I look for the ones that, I do respond to, and then the ones that I delete is that human connection, and seeing if they have a mission or if it's just about, their business.
Yeah.
Because I'm not in my business just solely for business. I'm in it to go out there and, help others and change the world.
Right.
So I really want to be aligned with other people who I collaborate with in that sense.
And building relationships, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Is it okay if I get kind of specific?
Absolutely.
What I would most prefer is that you visit my website and you go to the contact us page and you fill that out. But that you've taken a look at our work and what we're doing, and you genuinely do have an interest, and that you also want to serve, that you see like how we want to serve, and you show, okay, this is how I want to help people, and I think we'd be a great, it would be great for us to collaborate, and we could, what's your vision? That'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you pay it forward in terms of introducing others? That there's nothing in it for you, but you're in, this person and this person, and you can see that there could be a great collaboration between them. But it's totally not about you, right? It's about you serving both of them. Do you do that? And how do you go about that?
Absolutely.
I do that. Yeah. And it's just, it's kind of, if you're talking to somebody, getting to know them better. And it just kind of pops in your head, hey, I know this other person that I think you could collaborate great with, and you guys can, grow your followers, your audience, be able to help each other grow in that way. Yeah, and then you just kind of connect them. So
Yeah.
Absolutely. Just have a conversation. You'll find out what people need.
Mhm.
And then and you can reach out to the other person and, kind of
Right.
be that middleman for them and make sure there's a connection if it aligns for them.
If it aligns for them, yeah, which
Mhm.
means you've got to know about that, both of them, right?
Yeah.
You have to have those relationships. Mary?
I mean, that's what like cocktail parties are great for, right?
Mhm.
Like, hosting a party and introducing people and kind of just seeing what comes out of that.
Yeah.
That's my favorite way. That's my ideal way to introduce folks. But yeah, definitely wheels are always turning and just I think also, always seeing the potential in people, but then also like seeing the potential that collaborators could have.
So how do you acknowledge that person who's introduced you to a collaborative partner? What do you do for the person making the introduction?
Shout outs.
Shout outs is good.
And that I'm huge on shout outs. I think that's so important.
Yeah.
Especially in like the social media world.
Right.
That's where everybody's at right now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I got a package in the mail recently from someone that I had introduced to someone, and he sent me a little box of candy,
No.
So, when I used to always be sending gifts to my clients when I had my staffing firm, we would always do gifts. We would always do Christmas cards where every person on staff signed the cards. And, that got challenging as we had multiple offices in multiple states, but we had to, work out systems to get all that done and send out those Christmas cards. So yeah, finding ways to express our gratitude to those people who made that introduction is really nice. Now, of course, some of those things wind up being a monetary piece where maybe it's a joint venture relationship or an affiliate, and you pay them back a fee for increased business as a result of that introduction. But sometimes it's just that heartfelt thank you, isn't it? And again, the shout outs. I like that idea, Christina, the shout outs very much.
I think it's a great way to not only help that person get their name out, help the other people understand what that person is doing and how that person is making an impact, but to also acknowledge how grateful you are for them in
Yeah.
in a big way. I love the gifts though. I love the gift idea.
Oh, it brings such a smile to your face when you get it. It's just like, ear to ear smile. It's just wonderful. So then I had to pick up the phone and call him and say thank you. That was wonderful. Or send them a note or do something, but let them know how much you appreciated that.
Well, I think people just want to be acknowledged in what we do.
Yeah.
And I think that the practice of expressing that gratitude is just so great for your mental health,
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And, that appreciation and gratitude for someone else going out of their way to further your business. That's phenomenal as we're all, so focused on our own things most of the time. And for someone to know you well enough that they have an idea of what might be a good fit for you, and then to think of you and forward that person on to you and make that introduction. I usually make my introductions by email, and I will include for each person in that, I will include a link to their LinkedIn page so they can go read about them before they connect with them. Give them just a little more information. So, how do you qualify a collaboration or a collaborative partner for yourself? What are some of the things that you want to make sure you're in alignment on before you go down the road of partnering with this person in any way. Mary?
I think first, just respectful of one another's time. I had someone reach out to me recently, set up a Zoom meeting, and he was a no-show. And then I was like, okay, no more, I think that that's a really important component, just knowing that we're going to show when we say we are.
Yeah. Agreed. That said, sometimes things happen. I no-showed somebody a while back, and as soon as I realized what had happened, I, reached out to them and let them know that, what had happened, and I had totally missed it, and I apologized.
Yeah.
And they were completely dismissive, don't want anything to do with you, you no-showed. And I think we have to give each other grace, find out the reasons. No-shows happen. And sometimes I don't follow up based on, whatever, but sometimes I don't follow up with them. But usually I'll reach out and say, hey, we had an appointment and you didn't make it. I'm hoping everything's okay. Do you want to get back on the books or not?
Yeah.
But I think that giving them some grace is really important. Having been on the receiving end of no grace.
Okay. All right, Regina, I'll reconsider. Maybe I'll reach out.
Yeah, because he was extremely rude to me, in terms of his comments back and yeah. So
Okay.
so I do like to give that grace. But what about values? What are you looking for in values? I mean, obviously respecting time is one. What other things are you looking for in terms of being in alignment on your values?
I think it's important to want to help make, changes to the world in a positive way.
Yeah.
That is important to me. And I want somebody I collaborate with want to make big changes too. It may not be exactly the same way that I'm doing it,
Right.
but in their own way, I want them to want to have a positive effect on the world.
Yeah. I call it the ripple effect.
Yes.
And I'm all about the ripple effect.
Yes.
I help someone in their business, they go out and help others, and we create that positive ripple around the world. And that's the most exciting thing for me, is to be a part of the ripple effect.
Yeah. It's so cool seeing, like, that domino effect. And at the end, you're like, oh my gosh, look what it turned into.
Exactly. Yeah. You can impact millions of lives by impacting one.
Yes.
And then they go out and make a difference, and they go out and make a difference. And it just exponential growth, exponential.
Yeah.
Angelie, how about you? Oh, I'm sorry. Did you say something, Mary?
Yeah. I mean, I can wait. I can hold the thought.
No, go ahead, Mary. I don't want you to forget it.
It makes me think about vulnerability, because I know it's something that we're talking about a lot in this day and age, and especially with social media. And I think some of us are more comfortable than others. And to be honest, when Christina shared her story, I felt a little bit more comfortable to share my story. And that is definitely something that I'm kind of always testing the water with, because it's something that you want. I know that when I share my story, I'm going to help others. I do know that. But I also have to be mindful of my own limits, and like my own triggers, and just knowing my own safety. So I think collaboration with others, where it's like, okay, we're both kind of testing this together, and we can support each other in that. I think that's really very special. And also, the more that you slowly share, the more it's like, oh yeah, this is really normal. Like, so many people are going through this, and I thought I was completely alone.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think maybe just sharing that value system, in the sense, like, I'm sharing my story because I think it will help others,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and that really kind of being the only reason, you know, not the only reason, but like I'm sharing it in service.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, no, Mary, I think you make a great point. And I think it's something that we might all do, but don't realize that we do it. Because I know that, you know, if I'm talking to somebody about collaborating, I'm looking for that level of respect and integrity and being authentic and genuine. But I'm also looking for them creating that space to where, you know, I feel supported and safe and sharing a certain level of my story. So I think that's a great point that you make.
Yeah.
That is,
Absolutely. Very good. Awesome.
And we have collaborated on that level, I think, really. You know, I felt very supported by you when we have done different workshops together, and really, you know, that's
yeah, definitely same, you know, both ways. I mean, we've shared sometimes way too much, I think.
And you're always finding that line. I think you're always, you know, you're going and then, oh, that was a little too much. Okay.
There's other people here too.
Yeah, you're always like pushing the envelope, I think. And it's discovery.
Yeah, because those people that you collaborate with, you do develop a tighter relationship with. You open the door a little wider, let folks in. A lot of us hold back, right? You know, it's some of that's that introversion that you talked about, Christina. Some of that's some of that's just you know, maybe whatever experiences we've had in our lives that we're like, oh, okay, I don't need to share all of who I am at this point, right? Lots of reasons we hold back. But the closer or the more we work with that collaborative partner, the more that door opens up a little bit more and we start to really interact at a more personal level with that person. Yeah, you all experienced that. I see a lot of head nodding.
Yeah.
Awesome. Ladies, this has been wonderful. You bring a lot of insight to this subject. I really appreciate it. Yes, Christina.
I was just going to say, I'm so glad that I was able to meet you, Regina and Mary and Angelie. Thank you for allowing me to be here. It's been great and I appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yes, I'm glad that Angelie and I met and that we've taken this relationship to this level. We're doing a few things together. And we're expanding our collaboration. Exactly. So what I'd like to do now is kind of, and I'm going to turn this over to Angelie to direct it, but I'd like us to kind of just make a final statement or your thoughts about collaboration and share with folks how they can reach you. So Angelie, if you'll kind of have the other gals do that and you go last, okay?
Yeah, sounds good. So Christina, Mary, do either of you want to go first?
So I'm sorry. What was the first half of what you wanted us to share?
Final thoughts and then how people can connect with you.
Yeah. So I think as far as collaboration is for people who are more introverted like myself, don't be scared. We view people in a certain light, and often we put them on this pedestal that isn't really there. And we worry about like, oh gosh, maybe I'm not enough. Maybe I'm not on their wavelength. But often if you have that conversation, you'll find out that we are very common. You know, we have a lot in common with each other. And I think that's just being open, I guess, to having a conversation is super important, even if it's super uncomfortable. If anybody wants to reach out to me, you can find me on my website. It's ChristinaJNSNL.com. You can find out more about me or contact me and we can discuss collaborations.
Awesome.
Miss Mary?
Yeah, no, well, thank you. I'm so grateful to have had this conversation with all of you, and thank you for leading it, Regina and Christina and Angelie. This has just been wonderful. and very insightful. I felt like a little challenged and also very supported and understood. And my business mission is to help others feel loved and understood. So that's what I try to do in my business and in my music and all that I create. So yeah, feel free to reach out to me. My website is marylob.com. So MARYELOBB.com. And this has been wonderful.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
And if you're a no-show, I'll try to give you some grace.
Just to give a little grace. But don't do it twice.
Oh, that's so great.
That's awesome.
So final thoughts. I mean, kind of along the same lines as Christina. I mean, I'm introverted as well, and a lot of people tell me no way. But anyway, it can be scary, you know, kind of connecting with people and getting out there, but there's so many benefits and you won't know what they are until you try it. And it's not like you need to be, you know, this super connector right away. It takes time. It's a process. I mean, kind of my motto that I use with everything is it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. So just be graceful with yourself, you know, and you know, get out of your comfort zone, but at the same time kind of grow at your pace, because that's really what I did. You know, I started with network groups that I would just attend, and sometimes, you know, I'd come out of them feeling great, and sometimes I'd feel out of them saying no way, I'm not going back. But you know, it's continually taking that chance and kind of getting out there to get to know other people, and us connecting is you know, kind of what we do naturally as humans. So we need that connection in so many ways. So that would be my final thought. And my website is oversightglobal.com. So feel free to jump on there and reach out. You can connect with me on my social media. Those links are there as well.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you all, ladies. I want to
you.
share a couple of things with you. One is I do have a podcast that is called Pursuing Profit with Principles. Would love to interview either of you. Angelie's already been interviewed for that, but I would love to interview either of you for that. That would be wonderful.
Yeah.
And also we, a collaborative partner and I, she's out of Canada, have put together a program that is called Superpowered Connectors. And so we are doing some social events right now with Superpowered Connectors, and would love to invite you to participate in that. And I can send you information on that. So
Would love that.
awesome. And if any of our listeners are interested in knowing more about that, just put a comment in and I'll send you information on it. We had our first social event this week with it, and it was really, really great. We were really, really pleased with it, excited about it and pleased with it. And we've gotten really good feedback on it. So I'll be happy to send you that information.
Wonderful.
Thank you again for joining us. Angelie, thank you so much for being our guest co-host today and for inviting these two lovely ladies, and just great conversation, ladies. I appreciate it so much. You brought value. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Regina. Thank you, ladies. This was great.
Awesome.
Thank you. This was wonderful.
Fantastic. And with that, folks, we'll see you next time on Collaboration Conversations. Bye for now.